Hello, everyone. You're all very welcome to Underground Cinema. As nearly everybody knows at this stage in Ireland, in the independent film scene, we've been interviewing as many filmmakers and actors and directors and writers as we possibly can on the run-up to the 15th Underground Cinema Awards, which take place this Saturday night in the Royal Marine Hotel in Dún Laoghaire. This is our 26th interview. We've done an interview every single night. I'm delighted to say that I've got with me Mahée Merica with me. She's a fantastic director. She sent through to us a brilliant short film called Ariane's Baby, which has been nominated Best Horror Film. You're very welcome, Mahée.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And thank you for the nomination as well. I'm really happy about it.
Not at all. All I can say about the film is wow. That's all I can say. It's absolutely super. The production values are great. Your casting is superb. This film ticks all the boxes for me. It was I really enjoyed it from start to finish. Maybe you could tell us just a little bit about what the film was all about. The film is all about for those who haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, of course. So Ariane's Baby is a film about a single pregnant woman whose name is Ariane. She's quite excited to have her baby because she sees it as a new departure for her life and a way for her to create her own family unit. But as the birth draws near, she starts having nightmares where monsters try to steal her unborn baby from her stomach. And that makes her question whether or not she's really ready for motherhood and to be a good mother to this child that she's bringing to the world.
Yeah, it touches on difficult topics like trauma, loneliness, self-doubt. And your lead actress does a superb job of doing this. She's great.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Rachel Miller, she's really talented. She's been, when we saw her at we organized a whole casting session. And when we saw her, we were obsessed with, we could not stop thinking about her. She played the character in a different way than I imagined her when I wrote it initially. But I think it works way better because she made her character really Ariane is not a victim in the way she plays it, and that makes her more endearing and easy for the audience to identify with her. And she has an amazing emotional range as an actress. It was really nice working with her, and I'm really happy with her job in the film.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, she sort of grapples with the fear of not being able to love her child fully. I mean, that's a really delicate thing in storytelling. But she seemed to play the part with aplomb. She really carried that off.
Yeah. And what's funny is that Rachel is, I think she's really, I don't know, she was asking a lot of questions about the character. She was really trying to get to understand her really well, which was really nice because it helped me to develop the character even more with her. And that's, I think, how we were able to bring her where she ended up being. I think the supporting actresses are really good as well. Rouge Watson and Roshan Brown. They did both a really good job as well. And it was really nice working with all of them to build, and also the monsters girl, Ivana Rajinovic and Lucy Gilroy. They did a great job as well. And it was really nice working with all these girls and develop the story with them a bit further.
Yeah, you mentioned the monsters there. I mean, they sort of symbolize Ariane's insecurities. Am I right?
Yes. I wanted to explore two different ends of the spectrum of the fears I personally have regarding motherhood. The first one being someone who kind of loses track of reality because they're so obsessed with their children and they become really smothering and really anxious about it. And so both monsters, the scenes with the monsters happen just after the scenes where Ariane meets her friends. So first scene, Ariane meets one of her friends who's a bit one of these smothering mothers. And then she gets haunted by this monster who tried to smother Ariane and was symbolizing, there is a lot of work behind the monsters. My makeup artist, Sophie Beverstock, and I, we've been working a lot on symbolism behind it and the colors. So the first monsters has a blue color palette, which is generally associated with motherhood because of Mary. And it has this, I'm spoiling it a bit, but he has this peacock tail with all the eyes.
Oh yeah, it's super. Yeah.
I think that as a mother, that's like one of the biggest stress, that you have to keep an eye on your child constantly and always be super aware of what's happening to him. And the second monster appears after Ariane meets her friend, Diane, who is more of a free spirit, who doesn't really want to have a child. And this fear here is more the fear of having to sacrifice something of you and of your womanhood and of your freedom when you become a mother. And so this monster was enchained, red, with a face and a skin that was like kind of peeled off from her body to show that she's kind of losing her identity here. So those were like the fears I was trying to explore, both more like metaphorically and like indirectly in the dialogue scenes with her friends, and then more like properly physically impersonated through the monster scenes.
Yeah, because like motherhood is portrayed often, often portrayed positively, but the Ariane's baby delves into, the fears and anxieties of parenthood. It's a really nuanced approach. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I do think that motherhood has another wonderful aspect, but I also wanted to bring up like some fears that I know a lot of women are dealing with. Like I personally I know some of my friends are, and a lot of people who watched the film at the end came to me and talked about this and how difficult it is to be a mom and how scary it is. So yeah, that's what I wanted to explore and to show these women that they heard, also to show people who might not experience motherhood how difficult it can be, I guess. So yeah, that was my goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm a parent myself, so there are things you worry sick about right the way through the pregnancy. I could tell you, I didn't enjoy, the 9 months, to be honest with you, because I was so worried about, something that happened. Is everything okay? It was constantly on my mind. It should be a very happy time, but it is a very worrying time.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that. I personally don't have children, but yeah, these are all my anxiety about it. And I can totally imagine how anxiety provoking it is, because like it's literally like another human being 100% responsible on you. And that is really scary. I think it is really beautiful, but it's also really scary.
Yeah, but this film is more of a psychological horror film really than your typical horror film. It's got intimate drama in it as well. I mean, it's a fantastic genre, and you mentioned your wonderful cast, but I'd have to tip my hat off to your wonderful crew as well. Your cinematographer, your DOP, did a great job, a sterling job. He with the not just the photography, but the lighting is superb in it as well.
Yeah, so her name is Sherazad El Mumni Berdai, Sherry for short, and she's really, really good. She also carried the camera on her shoulder the whole time, and it's a heavy camera, and she was like really good at staying close to the character without being intrusive to the actresses. It was really very nice working with her because it didn't feel like work. We were like watching films and being like, okay, this is nice. How can we emulate something similar? Really hardworking, really talented. Honestly, it was really, really nice working with her. And I think she did do a great job. Her handheld is great. Her lighting is great. The team she had behind her was really talented as well. But yeah, it was really nice working with her. And it was also really nice working with my production designer, Abby Quinlan. Like us three, we like really tried to create a look together. And it was really nice working as a team, trying to achieve that look. So I also wanted to give her some recognition because the film would not look the way it does without her work as well.
Yeah, the production design is great. Your team, they gave it a real unsettling tone to the film, which was fantastic. Yeah. It was really, really good. Where was the film shot? What location? It's maybe mostly
in London. So we shot. This is my graduation film for the London Film School. We shot mostly in London. We had Ariane's flat was one of our locations. Where we also shot, there's a hospital scene where Ariane gives birth to the baby. We also shot the hospital scene in that flat. We dressed the flat as a hospital. And I'm quite happy with the look because I feel like you would never guess that. It looks like a proper hospital. And then we also had another flat for her friend and a baby shop for a scene at the beginning. But the whole film was mostly contained in Ariane's flat because I really wanted to create a claustrophobic feeling where we're like stuck in her mind and we're stuck in this situation. And I think it's also mirroring a bit the idea of like the baby being in her stomach. Like the baby is stuck in her stomach, she's stuck in her flat. So I just really wanted to contain it as much as possible in this house. We don't really have any exterior scenes for that reason. But yeah, we shot mostly in London, which is difficult. It's hard to shoot in London.
Yeah.
But,
I can imagine. And your team, are they all from the London Film School, or are they independent?
So most of the crew was the cast. They're just like regular actor and actresses we found. Most of the crew was from London Film School, except for my makeup artist Sophie, who didn't study there. But yeah, pretty much. I would say like 90% of the people were from the school. Some of them graduated before me, some of them graduated after me, some of them graduated around the same time. But we have a similar background, which is very nice as well because it was really international. Like most of my crew was like, I think we were two French on the film and everyone else was from a lot of different places.
I was looking at the credits, Mahée, and I could tell you I'd murder all the surnames. There's so many different nationalities.
Yeah,
it's very hard to pronounce them all.
That's really like a lovely aspect from the school I went to, because it's really nice to have like different perspective on things, see how different people from different countries see the world. So yeah, it was really nice having an international team as well.
You know what? That's very interesting that you say that, because in Ireland now I encourage a lot of the Irish filmmakers to make sure that they watch as many international films as they possibly can for the various different styles and techniques. So the styles in Ireland would be very different to the styles in France, to Germany, to Russia. They're all very different styles. And there's so much you can pick up if you do study international filmmakers from around the world. There's so much you can pick up from using, some of the techniques that they use. So it's great. That's brilliant that you had a crew with that experience.
Yeah, I agree. I think I personally really like Irish films. I think they're good, but I do agree that it's good to diversify and look and like try and pick from different style you can imagine. Because I'm French, but I went to study in Canada at some point, and then I moved to the UK. And I feel like having this background helped me to a bit pick and choose what I like from each country and style, and to try and make my own. So definitely, I think it's great to watch international films and interact with international filmmaker to try and develop your own style. I would agree with you.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And horror isn't the only genre you do. You've done various different genres, and including documentaries. Which would be your favorite type of film to work on?
It's horror. I really like horror. I think I really like drama, because I think any other genre has to be a good drama first to be a good whatever it is. Like it has to have a good dramatization and story and a good structure and good characters. So I think drama are really important. I love horror because I really like special effects, and I really like props. I've been working a lot in production design and set dressing, so I do like props and practical effects. And horror is really the genre where you would find that the most. I also really like how you can use horror to talk about important subject matter in an entertaining way, and how it makes you feel. Like it's really, to me, it's a genre that not only makes you think and feel emotion, but it also makes you like your body react, and I really like that. So it would be horror, but I do like the documentary was really interesting. It definitely helped with finding how I'd like to film things. Because Iron Baby has an also documentary approach. The camera is really handheld, really close to the actress. We try to emulate a natural lighting as much as possible. So documentary is nice as well. I would love to write a comedy. I would really like to make a good comedy. But yeah, I do like horror a lot, I think.
Yeah, I could see you like horror a lot. There's your use of shadows, actually, when I was watching it, it reminded me of F.W. Murnau, from Nosferatu or Coppola, with some of the use of shadows that you use.
Yeah, that was, so we used expressionism was one of our references, like German expressionism in general, and also like chiaroscuro paintings, because I really wanted like a highly contrasted lighting and shadows to emulate the sense of dread of Ariane, and really like make a very different lighting between the sequences and the reality sequences. So yeah, that's good you picked up on it.
Great. And who would you reckon you'd be influenced by? What horror film director would you be influenced by? Would you say? Are you influenced by any particular horror film director?
I'm inspired by a lot of different directors from different genre. One of them, the biggest one, I think the biggest influence for me right now is Julia Ducournau, who is French and made horror films. She made a film called Raw in 2016. My French accent makes me pronounce it very poorly, but it's RAW, and it's a really good film about a young vegetarian girl who joins a vet school, and as a part of her hazing process, she has to eat meat, and that makes her realize that she craves for human meat. And that's a really good film because it's a mix of horror, comedy, coming of age, and it is a really good metaphor to talk about like growing up and like learning to deal with your sexual desire and your relationship with your peers. And she made more recently a film called Titan that won the Palme d'Or at Cannes a couple of years ago, I think. She's a really smart woman. Like when you listen to her interviews, you see she's thinking about every single details, and everything she makes is very different. When I watch a film of her, I can never guess where it's going to go. So she's definitely a big influence in that regard. I also really like Andrea Arnold, who's a British filmmaker who does more like social realist films. I really like how she approaches her characters and how she follows them, and how when you watch a film of hers, it doesn't feel like a film. It feels like you're spending time with the character. So that's something that I find quite inspiring as well. So every time I make a mood board for a film, there will always be some Andrea Arnold and some Julia Ducournau somewhere.
Okay.
So yeah, those are the two main ones I would say.
Right. This year at Underground Cinema, we screened 165 films this year, and we noticed an increase in horror films this year. It's a very important genre, particularly in Ireland, because what we've seen this year is there are 7 films that have been nominated for awards this year that have an Irish mythology connection, which some really spooky, scary horror films based on some of the myths in Ireland, like the Banshee, and you probably heard about the Banshee. And there's a lot of films being made. And actually, on Saturday night when you're at the award, we're delighted that you're coming all the way over to see us.
Yeah, very excited.
We'll introduce you to some of these horror filmmakers.
Yes, please.
There's about 7 or 8 of them that are going to be there on the night. Yeah, and they've made some really, really cool. There's some great films that they've made over the past year. You see, what's happened is, if you go back, say, about 15 years ago, when you're making short films, to do a horror film, with any sort of special effects or lighting or anything like that could cost a lot of money. But technology has improved so much now. People are practically doing the edit in their bedroom, and they're creating all sorts of fantastic effects. So that's probably one of the reasons why we're seeing so many films with CGI that would have been really expensive years ago. People can now do it in their bedroom.
I also think we have more like a new generation of filmmakers born in like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. We've been watching a lot of horror films from that era, and we're like really inspired by it. Like I think there's a nostalgia effect a bit as well, because I think a lot of filmmakers my generation have been watching like, I don't know, like all the 80s slasher, and then like the early 2000 comedy film, like semi-comedic, like Scream. I personally really like French extremism, which is from the early 2000s as well. So I feel like our filmmaking has been influenced by that. And as I said earlier, I think it's a really nice way to talk about scary things, whether it's like pregnancy or like climate change, like scary societal subject matters, but without being too direct about it and without being too preachy about it. So, and I think in Ireland, because it's true that I've been to a few Irish festivals and I've seen a few Irish short films that are using folklore, but like putting a modern twist on it. And I think that's really, really cool. So it's nice to see a mix of both, like the roots of like your mythology mixed with like modern fears. I think it's really interesting to see that.
Yeah, fantastic. Maybe we'll send you a link to a couple of films.
Oh yeah,
you can have. Yeah. We'll arrange that. We'll give you a private screening. We'll show you. We'll send you a link where you'll be able to watch it. No, that's no problem at all. So, what's on the cards next? Have you got something planned?
So I am about to, I hope, finish my next short screenplay, which is also a proof of concept for a feature film, which I hope will be my first feature film. And it's called A Siren Song. It's a horror coming-of-age fantastic film that talks about rivalries in female friendship and how the male gaze can influence how girls behave with one another. And it's putting a twist on the Little Mermaid story. So I'm quite excited with this one. I already won a few awards for best and produced screenplay, and I hope that my last draft will be pretty good and that we can move forward to try and get it financed and try to start shooting it soon. But yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I also have a project in France that is a drama, so that's a bit different. But I hope I'm gonna start shooting beginning of next year, exploring a team of relay runners and how like their different backgrounds is impacting how they run together, which is quite exciting as well because it's a team of women and it's really nice to talk about women in sports. So yeah, I'm really excited about all of that, and I just want to make more film. Like I would like to try and write things that are a bit cheaper as well so that I can make them more easily. But yeah, the Mermaid one is my main project at the moment, and I'm really excited about it.
And have you directed a feature film before?
No. I'm looking forward to it, but I also I really like shorts, and I really want to make maybe like a couple more shorts before taking the jump, because I want to be really confident for my first feature. And I think that even when I make features, I hope I would still keep going on making shorts, because I think it's a nice form. I think it should not just be something that you do until you make a feature. I think it's a good way to tell stories differently.
Yeah. And with this particular film, how has it gone down at the various different film festivals that it's been entered? Have you been to see it at any particular festivals?
Yes, I've been to. So it's been quite popular, actually, in Ireland, in the UK, in America, and in Italy for some reason. So I've been able to go to a few festivals, especially in the UK and in Ireland, and I've been to one or two in the US as well. It was really nice to see the reaction of the audience, to talk with people. And it was really nice that every time it was a very different type of crowd. Like I've been to very horror-centric film festival where it was mostly a male audience. Then I've been to other festivals where it was very young people. Then I've been to like drama festivals where it was like very diverse. It's just really nice to hear different opinion from different type of people, and see the impact it has. And I'm especially happy on the impact it has on men, because that a lot of women can empathize with the subject matter. So it's nice to see that men can as well. So yeah, I really enjoy seeing that.
Fantastic. Well, look, I'm delighted that we got a chance to have a chat this evening. The time has just flown by.
Me too, thank you.
We're really looking forward to seeing you in Delirium on Saturday night.
Me too, I'm really excited.
Yeah, we can't wait. Not at all. So we'll see you on Saturday night then.
Yes, I'll be there. See you on Saturday night. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a million. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Bye.